With all the things surrounding the Chicago Bulls and the trade talks between Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, I am here to tell you that the Chicago Bulls have a young trio as a core to run with. Plus, we get into the mailbag after that. You know we gonna talk about it, but you gotta hear the music first. Cognac. Gang. Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I am here bringing you the mailbag episode on today's episode of Shy Boys Podcast. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. So every time we drop, you'll be one of the first ones to know. Now, look. We know the record of what the Chicago Bulls is. We know what the team is. We know all the news that's been coming out surrounding the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine wants to get traded. He has his preferred destinations. We just recently heard it yesterday. DeMar DeRozan, his preferred destinations came out. But I'm here to tell you, after watching the Chicago Bulls play the Milwaukee Bucks, yes, it's one game, but I'm still here to say, the Chicago Bulls have a young core that they can run with. Will this young core be able to win a bunch of games? Probably not. More than likely not. But the future will look bright with these young guys being the core to push things forward as the Chicago Bulls move on to trying to better this team for the future. Those players that should be considered as a part of the core, I believe, should be Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Patrick Mr. Flowers Williams. But hey, I'm just here to say, it is time to move DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine out the way. Move them out the way. Let these young guys come out here, learn from their mistakes, go ahead and be able to just play freely, not have to follow up behind the so-called stars on this team, and be able to push the Chicago Bulls forward into the future. Again, those three players will be Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Patrick Mr. Flowers Williams. If we looking at just the young players and we thinking about what they bring to the game within just the last few games of just viewing the Chicago Bulls, in the last 5 games, Kobe White, 20 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 45% from the field, and 48% from the 3 in one of the biggest buckets of his young career against the Milwaukee Bucks the other night. Then we look at Ayo Dosunmu. Now that he has been getting more of a role with the Chicago Bulls, I'm going to just go ahead and mention it. His last two games, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 55% from the field, 33% from the 3. And Mr. Flowers, Patrick Williams, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 52% from the field, 47% from the 3 in his last 5 games. And I got to show Patrick Williams some love because against the Milwaukee Bucks, I have never seen Patrick Williams that animated in any game. Before last night. I mean, the other night. Not last night, the other night. Because we've been way past that. But I got to show love. You know what I'm saying? And then when you think about these guys can be that driving force to just kind of push things forward to say, hey, we getting rid of these stars. Let's get rid of them. And we got some young guys here that's probably not going to win a lot of games, but they will be doing a lot of things that we want them to do. What is that, Bobby? That is giving effort. That is getting out in transition. That is increasing the pace. That is shooting the ball. That is attacking the basket. Everything we see and everything we seen in the Milwaukee Bucks game is some of the things that these three guys can continue. And let's not forget, there are other guys to evaluate on this team. We still got Julian Phillips that we can look at. We still got Dalen Terry to where we can seem like, bro, can you figure it out? Can you figure all this out? Can you figure this out? Dalen Terry. And then you still got guys in the G Leagues that the Chicago Bulls organization have invested in Henry Drell to see what he can do, in Amada Sanogu to see what he can do, in Orlop Bittum to see what he can do. Still got Justin Lewis. And then when you trade say, Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan or both, the young guys that you can continue to bring in to evaluate talent to push this thing forward. Because right now we are stuck in the mud. We are moving slow like molasses. We are in a bind with this current construction of this roster with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan leading the charge. We've seen a bunch of different things that we haven't seen in a very long time. The last game against the Milwaukee Bucks with the young core. So I say, why the not hell? Don't make sense, but why the not hell? Say it with me. Why the not hell do we not allow the young guys to push things forward? That's Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and Patrick Williams, just so we can see what can these young guys translate to and how much further can these young guys push the Chicago Bulls? Because as of right now, with the current construction of this team, including DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, that's a first round exit. A first round exit. So let's continue to push on. Let's see what these young guys are made of. Let's see if they can help remove the shade of the darkness and see if we can get some sunlight on our organization, because we are sick and tired of mediocrity. We need these young guys to represent the city of Chicago the correct way. In the last game, combined with those veterans that's on the team, Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, Alex Caruso, Andre Drummond, Nikola Vucevic, etc., we seen that they can represent the city of Chicago pretty damn well. So I'm willing to say the Chicago Bulls have a young trio that they can turn to start pushing this thing forward. And I'm going to leave it at that so we can get into the voicemail. Y'all already know. Let me know down below your comments on how the Chicago Bulls young core will look. That's Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Patrick Williams. But now we're going to get into these voicemails because y'all know this episode is centered around you guys because y'all call in and show this podcast a lot of love. So I got to go with Auntie's Corner to start this whole thing off. Here's the voicemail from Auntie Goon.
Nashville, you know what it is. It's your Auntie Goon. But hey, check this out. Vooch, Zach, DeMar, Billy, for them only. Get the fuck out of Chicago. Y'all don't want to play for us. Yeah, listen, just go. Just pack. You know what? Don't even pack your shit. Just get on the plane. Y'all two go back to L.A. Boots, take your ass back to Orlando. I don't know what the fuck you find. Don't give a fuck. Zach, you light-skinned bitch. You don't want to do shit. DeMar, you can stop cheating on your motherfucking wife and leave these side holes alone and pay attention to the fucking game. Bitch, you will be all right. Boots, you, bro. Goofball Jamal, you big foot ass bitch. You can't move. You can't do shit. Your ass been terrible. You do absolute nothing. Bitch, everybody. I don't give a fuck. Bitch, they ass. Because what the fuck I just seen last night? Listen, we played without that and DeMar. We see what the problem is. Get them out of Chicago, bro. Because our young boys, this could be our starter lineup right here. Get them out of Chicago. Get them the fuck up out of here. Our young boys, we was down 10 first quarter. They did not give up. They showed heart. They showed emotion, and they was not going. Them boys win. They was not going for that shit. You're not going to come to Chicago and take this game from us. You're not. That's the attitude they showed us, and that's the attitude that I like. These kids got heart. Zach, you light-skinned bitch. LAU goes. DeMar, go back to Compton. You want to be so hard, fuck around on your wife? Take your goofball Jamal ass back to Compton. Listen, boo, you got to go. Billy Joe Gun, chewing the ass, got to go. AKM Mark, you bitches got to go. Y'all disgust me. Y'all fucking embarrassing. Y'all just fucking disgusting. I can't stand you motherfuckers. Get the fuck out of Chicago. We don't deserve this shit. What we deserve, what we seen last night with Kobe White, Ayo, and Drummond and all that. Get back with me, Nutfield. Because this shit don't make sense. They got to get the fuck out of Chicago. They got to get the fuck out of here. Get them out of here now. Fuck December. Fuck January. Get them out of here now. Bitch them and make their ass want to leave. All right, gang.
Y'all heard Auntie Goon first and foremost. Shout out to Auntie Goon. Been rocking with the channel for a very long time, to the point to where she has her own corner. We call it Auntie's Corner. But now on to the voicemail. You said get him up out of here right now, and I'm with it. But the reality is that December 15th, excuse me, December 15th, it's probably when things start to kick off. I want to provide a little bit of insight. Zach LaVine will be out the next week, y'all. After that, December 15th will be right around the corner. So we could possibly see Zach LaVine on the move. And one of the other bigger things that I took from your voicemail, Auntie, was attitude. The young guys came out here against the Milwaukee Bucks, a team that's contending for a title, a team that went and got Damian Lillard to hopefully change the temperature of their team to push for title number 2 for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And the young Chicago Bulls showed heart, they showed muscle, they played together, and they did exactly what they needed to do to try to push this thing and get a win, and they got it. You cannot hope for anything better than that from these young guys. Look, I already know once Zach LaVine is gone, once DeMar DeRozan is gone, it might not look so pretty every single night. But from what I seen the other night against the Milwaukee Bucks, these young guys will play together. They will play hard. They will show effort. They will put their best foot forward every single night. That's a representation of us, Shy Bulls Podcast, the city of Chicago, and what we all represent. That's a representation in a team that I want to root for, not that bullshit that the Chicago Bulls put together against the Boston Celtics, where Zach LaVine only had 2 points. Only had 2 points, y'all. It's disgusting. Like Auntie Goon said, it was disgusting. And I will say this, Auntie, Nikola Vucevic, now that he was more involved in offense, I'm okay with him sticking around for the simple fact that the Bulls have him locked up on a team-friendly deal. Now, if he comes out and say he wants to get traded, I'm all for it. Get his ass out of here. But if he wants to stay and help mentor and play with the young guys, I'm all for that as well. Shout out to you, Auntie Goon. Shout out for you supporting the channel. We love you over here on Shy Bulls Podcast. This next guy, you didn't leave your name. You gotta leave your name. But I'm going to still play your voicemail. I'm going to call you Mr. 708. Announce yourself in the comments below. Here's your voicemail.
Hey, what's up, Cognac boys? On this podcast, I found you guys through Chicago Bull Central. So you know, I've watched a couple of your guys' content. I wanted to talk about. I just got out of the Bucks being there, and the one thing that I noticed is that I know it might sound crazy, but it just seemed like to me the pacing the team was a lot better when DeMar and Zach weren't on the court. It just seemed like they were a lot smoother on the court. And the one thing I noticed is that they're in transition they were a lot better, and they were a lot better at getting points in the transition. And that just got me thinking, I don't understand why Billy gets so focused on trying to make this team a 3-point shooting team. Because they were hot in the first, they were doing well, and I mean they're a streaky 3-point shooting team. They're not like they're not like a consistent shot shooting team. They're a freaky 3-point shooting team. So I don't understand why he's trying to. It just seems like they're trying to jack up threes, and then they got cold, and then when they stopped doing that and started getting transition points, they were a lot better. So do you guys think it would be better for them to focus on trying to get transition points instead of trying to have this pseudo small ball lineup that Billy's trying to do? From what you guys think, keep up the good work, guys.
First and foremost, thank you so much for calling in and leaving your voicemail. It was a bit choppy. I'll keep it at that, but I'll probably signal, rocking with, the line and all that stuff. But nonetheless, thank you for calling in, my guy. Thank you for supporting the channel. Now on to your voicemail. I think the Chicago Bulls moving in transition should have happened years ago. When Lonzo Ball was in the game, he was able to kind of force the Bulls to play in transition. And for some reason, once he went out, the Chicago Bulls slowed things down to the point to where they were last in pace in the NBA, 30th. Even this season, starting 30th. A lot of that's contributed goes to DeMar DeRozan because his slow foot ass likes to slow things down, and Zach LaVine for some reason. But then we seen against the Milwaukee Bucks, you see a young Bulls team push. And we know Ayo Dosunmu is at his best when he's in transition. We know that Kobe White is at his best when he's in transition. We know that teams can take advantages against the opposing defense when you put pressure on them in transition. And I'm with you. The move to try to make this team a 3-point shooting team is cool. It sounds great. But this is not the makeup of the team. You have to have a good balance between the two. So that's how I'm looking at it. They have to mix in both of those. And that's kind of why I'm on the side of let the young guys play. Allow the young guys to play because they will push the pace, because they are young, they are athletic, they want to do things. Yes, they can hit the three, but if you can get easy baskets, that helps guys gain confidence. If everything is hard on every possession, it's not going to work, and you're going to end up 5-14 like the Chicago Bulls was, especially in today's NBA. It's just not conducive to winning in today's NBA. You have to have some type of pace. You have to put pressure on the opposing team's defense, and you have to do things differently. So I'm right on board with you. I like this young core. Get them out on a run. Get them out in transition. Put some pressure on the older teams, and the Bulls will have some surprising wins, i.e., like against the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's just say in the last point here, let's just say for the sake of discussion, this young Chicago Bulls goes up against an older team like the Los Angeles Lakers, maybe even the Los Angeles Clippers. If they run those old guys into the ground, that should be some games that they could be able to win, right? At least starting there. There are obviously more things that they will have to do, but you still will see an opportunity to win more games. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it at that. But this next voicemail is from my guy, Ricky Curl.
What up, Bobby? This is Ricky Carroll. How you doing, UNC Dub? I'm here to say I just got you watching your podcast. And, hey, bro, all the Bulls need is another coach. A coach with some discipline that would make our center play defense. Our guards double team on the ball and play defense and get back to your man when you double team. All we need is discipline, man. That's a good team, bro. I know y'all probably don't understand and don't see it. But, man, like everybody was on Mark DeRosa, like the guys doing now, man. You do what the coach tell you to do. I ain't never like to do it. And I always think Zach, when he's scoring a lot of points, he's happy. Otherwise, man, he's unconcerned. That's been my problem with Zach. He got more talent, man, than 92% of the people in the NBA. But Zach, think about Zach. I don't know why y'all on Mark DeRosa. What do you want him to do? He been pissing me off lately, Lord, forgive me, mouth, for the way he playing defense. But would you hurt yourself for Billy? Ask some of your buddies out there the same question and see what they say. And we lose leads and we lose them because Billy subs at 3 people at one time. Look at them games sometimes. How in the hell can 3 people come off the bench and continue a hot streak? How can somebody, the referees, oh yeah, that's one more thing I'm saying before I go. Oh, y'all keep on pretending that the ref ain't got nothing to do with this movie. Think about it. And I'm going to listen to y'all talk about it, okay? And let me know what y'all think. Peace.
Well, shout out to you, Ricky Kerr. I love the voicemail, and shout out to you for always supporting the channel, man. Me, I'm looking at it like this. At least in the last game against the Milwaukee Bucks, I know I keep going back to it. It seemed like some of those young players will get hurt for Billy Donovan. It seemed like they'll dive on the floor for 50-50 balls. It seemed like they'll get aggressive and push guys around. You know what I'm saying? But I'm with you. The team has not done that outside of the game that we seen against the Milwaukee Bucks. Could be Zach, could be DeMar. And I'm with you. Zach LaVine has been horrible this season. DeMar DeRozan has been horrible this season. Before last game against the Milwaukee Bucks, Nikola Vucevic has been horrible. And it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, bro. And I know it's a lot of things that come into play when you talk about the big 3, but enough is enough. Times is up. And Ricky Curl, my last point is we can hope that Billy Donovan gets shipped out and kicked out of the door. But as of right now, he ain't going nowhere, bro. The front office loves this guy. For some reason, they love him. For some reason, they love him. I don't know why, but for some reason, they love him. They gave him an extension. We don't even know how many years. We don't even know how much money. I don't even care about the money. How many years is he's going to be in Chicago? So I understand the need for one or another coach, but it's just not going to happen right now, man. It's just not going to happen right now. But shout out to you, Ricky. I really, really appreciate you calling in and giving your takes, man. Definitely supporting the channel. Can't tell you and tell everybody who's called in thus far how much we appreciate it. But hey, we move on to the last voicemail of the day. This is from my guy from Chicago Bulls Block. Make sure y'all check him out. This is from Big O.
So C-Dub, Body's Big O again. Hey, just to finish up my thought. So talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, yeah, so when you see what they're doing, they're not that far away. The trade chips and draft picks and players that they have to make a big splash, that's what you want the Bulls to do. So if you trade Zach LaVine, you got to get as much as you can get for him. If you trade DeMar DeRozan, we understand you're not going to get a lot, but whatever you can get it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that motherfucking crackhead on the corner selling an Apple Watch. Hey, give me $50. Give me $50. It's the second generation and it still works. Hey, give me $50. That's DeMar DeRozan. Same thing for Boots. You're probably not going to get a lot for him as well. Give it to me. Alex Caruso, I want everything. I want what it's worth. I want everything Caruso worth, okay? But that's what the Bulls have to do. And to hit on bro point, when you got an owner that's not really happy to go on the luxury tax to, you know, to his point also, not to make this team a playoff team, but if they show they can be a playoff team, he say he'll do it to be if you're a contender, which is understandable. But so you gotta get your assets in order. Get your assets in order. Get as many draft picks as you can get. Let your young players grow. Let them create value around the league. Put yourself in that OKC situation right now. Kobe got a little value. Pat got a little value. You have to start creating value within your draft picks and your players. And then hopefully you find something within that so you can put yourself in a position to make the big move when it presents itself. Right now, the Bulls don't have any really good, promising young assets. They don't have really great draft capital, even though that may start to go up with them being a bad team right now. But at this point, you need to use them draft picks, your own draft picks, to go out and find great talent. Now, Cooper Flag ain't coming out the next year. Fuck it. Hey, get the best player we can get this year and go for Cooper Flag next year. Start creating some value within your players and your team. These guys don't have no value. So, and we already know the problems we have with Billy and, just everything to the roster. But that's all I got for you guys, man. Hey, y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. Love, bro. No Bulls see red. Holla at y'all.
Shout out to you, Big O. First thing first, man. Make sure you keep doing your thing as well. I really appreciate you for supporting the channel. But hey, look, just to keep it brief, you are right. The Chicago Bulls don't have young talent that is valuable enough to where you could package up and trade for a said superstar. Look at the value that the Lakers put on Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, to be able to move those guys and insert Anthony Davis, and that translated to a championship. Look at all the guys that have been built up around Oklahoma City Thunder: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, and all the other guys, Chet Holmgren, and how they are valued right now within the current stature of the NBA. They look pretty damn good. And if they be like, hey, this ain't running right, we want to go after a superstar, you can definitely package some players up over there so you can get a guy in there to help Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to push for a championship. So I'm with you. Allow the young guys to play so where they can build some value. And if it's not running right, and if the situation has run its course, you get to package these young guys up to try to push for a championship. That's what we need. That's what we deserve. And I'm going to leave it at that. But that's it for me today, y'all. Thanks for all the callers who called in and gave their thoughts. I really, really, really appreciate it. Shout out to y'all for all the things that y'all have done for us thus far. Make sure y'all stay tuned in. If you want to be a part of an episode like this, call in 773-242-9219. This is another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Cognac. Gang.